What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to This Is Real with yours truly, Pastor Juan Martinez.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Stephanie Rave.
What is going on, Steph?
I'm good. How you doing, Pastor?
Let me tell you something. I'm excited. I get excited every week, right? I mean, think about it. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the joy of the Lord. But as I was always telling people, like, it's really cool that even during a pandemic, we could reach 53 cities and about close to 51 state and county prisons and jails all at one time. I couldn't do that even if we didn't have that. You got to be at 51 places at the same time.
Much less with the pandemic.
Yeah. So it's really cool. The shows have been high energy and just some great shows. The podcast is rocking. We try to, thank you to all who have subscribed to the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
This is real. Stephanie, you got some fans out there,
no.
man. You got some fans out there.
No, I think everyone really enjoys listening to you and watching you, Pastor Juan.
Oh, no, man. I think it's a team collaborative thing. And, you can never forget
it's a good teamwork.
The guy who you don't see.
Mm-hmm.
You can't forget that guy.
The unseen
guy, Marco.
MVP, Marco the media guy.
Marco the media guy. I told Marco, I had a call. It was kind of funny because I had to call him about the storm. And, Marco, it was kind of funny how I was calling Marco to give me information about Marco. And so all of that is, but today we got an incredible show.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? We love fashion at the thing. We love fashion, we love music and all that. And so today, you'll hear a heavy hitter later. But I got a box of shoes delivered to me.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because you got the shoe anointing.
I got the shoe anointing. I got a box delivered. Like, these are one of them. Check them out.
Nice.
They're the black-toed Jordans. I mean, it's kind of dope. All these shoes that I ever wanted, I got them in the box. It delivered to my front door. It was crazy.
No subscription needed.
No subscription.
Personal,
this is it.
Right
Just like the Lord's like, I knew you wanted this. I got off-white Jordans. I know people are going to talk about me later, but don't knock me if they get delivered to my door. What do you want me to do? Throw them away?
You're not going to give them back.
I got to put them on. And so let me tell you who we have here today. We have, this lady's an author now. I've known her for some time. Check it out. This is the book, right? It's pretty cool. What does it say there, Steph?
Shattered Yet Gathered.
Shattered Yet Gathered. And she's an evangelist. Her name is Yesenia Patty Pena.
Woo.
Come on. And she's got 2 beautiful daughters. She's a member of Get Rap. Yes. She's been with us for a while. I know
You're my pastor.
for a long time, but it's cool because I've seen the growth in you in all these years, and now you're an author, right? I remember when you were just like, ugh, and now you're an author and you're reaching all these people. That's just incredible to me. You're leading Bible studies, you're traveling around in women's conferences and just doing all these things, but that's not how it always was. Right?
Say hi to the people,
real.
Patty. Yeah.
Say what's up everybody.
To the people. And so say, you know what? We were talking a little bit before, and you're saying, I was asking you what was in your heart. Obviously you have this book. You have a conference. When's the conference that's for this thing? In September correct?
The 19th at 6 p.m. at Get Rap Church.
Come on, man. That's pretty
cool. It's a book launch.
It's a book launch. Awesome. And so you're going to be there. They're going to be signed copies?
Yes, there's going to be signed copies. We're going to have an MC. We're going to have powerful worship. We're going to have a panel. My pastor, Juan Martinez, will be interviewing me. And we're also going to give away some raffle giveaways. You may win a T-shirt. You may win a pottery, or you may win a book. Yes,
all sorts of prizes.
Yeah, nice. All sorts of prizes.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I see here,
amazing
Daddy's Girl, So Hard to Say Goodbye. It's so hard. Come on. Time to Find My Way. The Downward Spiral. This is an incredible story.
Yeah.
For those who know you, know how far you've come.
Yeah.
But I was asking you what was in your heart, and you were like, people are making decisions out of their pain. So talk to me, like, what's God been putting in your heart lately? We'll go in and out of the book and stuff in your story, but what's God been putting in your heart lately? Like, since you've been ministering.
So, I talk to a lot of women, and one thing that I've noticed is that they make decisions based out of their pain instead of their purpose. And so they return to that which has kept them broken, because that's all that they know. Dysfunctional has become normal to them, and they can't see themselves out of it. And that was me for so long. I was making decisions based out of my pain, out of my rejection, out of my anger, out of my hurt.
Wow.
When God was trying to pull me out, and God was trying to tell me, I have a plan, I have a purpose for you. He was trying to get me to have a kingdom mentality.
Yeah.
you
That's
know,
good stuff.
but I was still stuck in Egypt somewhere.
Yeah.
And couldn't see myself the way God saw me because I kept making decisions based out of my pain instead of God's purpose and plan for my life. And the only way that we'll discover that purpose and that plan is if we get in the Word, you know, we go to Bible studies. I mean, for me, it took me having to get counseled because, you know, I didn't really know who I was. I had identity issues, you know, and God had to sit me down and say, this is who you are, you know, and so once I discovered who I was, Pastor, that was it. You know, it was a game changer for me, you know, and I would start running with the Lord, and I was unstoppable, unshakable, unmovable, you know. But prior to that, you know, that's why it's called Shattered Yet Gathered, because I had a lot of shattered pieces, and I kept getting myself in shattered situations because I didn't know I had a purpose. So you have to understand, you know, the Bible clearly says in Jeremiah 29:11, God has a plan. He has a purpose for your life. And it's a good plan. It's a good purpose. You know, he knew you when you were in your mother's womb. And when he created you with a purpose and a plan. You know?
I like what you're saying because, you know, I was thinking about, I mean, that's always been the problem. Like God is always pulling somebody out. Like even with the children of Israel, when you're saying that, you know, they get out of Egypt, right before they get to the sea, the Red Sea, where it's going to part, they wanted to revert back.
Right,
they didn't want to follow. Yeah, they didn't want to follow the voice of Moses, who was leading them out. You know, the voice that's leading you out. Nobody really wants to follow it because it looks like impossible, right? The Red Sea is not open. They're like, "Why'd you bring me out here?" They start complaining, and we should just go back because there's some comfort there, right? I mean, have you experienced that yourself? Haven't you?
Yeah, I think it's really cool how you were mentioning from acting out of pain instead of your purpose. So I had a question, you know, like how do you identify the pain, right? Because I feel like a lot of times women or men too, they don't know that they're acting out of pain. They don't acknowledge or really see that, okay, you know what, I'm hurt and I'm acting like this because of the pain that has, you know, either has been self-inflicted or has been inflicted by somebody else, you know? So you do have to get to the point to where you acknowledge that, you know what, this is pain that I'm feeling and this is why I'm behaving this way.
Yes, you have to become aware of the root that's basically
So how did you realize that it was
how'd you realize?
So God in his infinite wisdom and his infinite plan, you know, he always had a plan for me, and he was still using me in the middle of me, you know, I was like a wounded soldier, you know. And so God was still using me. I was evangelizing, I was doing all these things for the Lord, you know, but it wasn't until I went through my second divorce that God really put a mirror in my heart, and he had me dissect myself. You know, we can blame everybody. We can blame this situation, that situation, but I had to look at myself, and I had to realize that I was broken and I was shattered. And I think that we sometimes don't want to admit that we're broken and that we're shattered. You know,
put on that strong front that, you know, I'm okay and nothing's
and so you know, I reached a crossroad with my walk with the Lord, and when I reached that crossroad, you know, I started realizing that I needed healing. I needed healing, and it took humility because here you are being used by God, and people are looking up to you, but you're broken yourself, you know. And so I had to accept the fact that I was broken, that I was tore up from the floor up still, and that I needed counseling. And once I allowed somebody to really disciple me, a lot of people run from being discipled because they don't want to. It takes pain. You know, I used to work for a chiropractor, and people walked in there hurt, you know. But in order for them to be healed, you know, by the chiropractor, they had to go through more pain. You know what I'm saying?
I think Stephanie likes that stuff.
I do. I go to the chiropractor because it feels awesome.
She's like, amen.
But afterwards, it's for your own good, you know. And so what a lot of people do is they revert and they stay in that pain, and they allow the world to continue to break them, and then, you know, they end up bitter and you know, just messed up. But when you allow God to break you and to heal you in that process, God always brings you out better, wiser, and stronger. And that's what he did with me. He broke me down to build me up the way he wanted to build me up.
Yeah, that's good, because I think, you know, a lot of times people just don't understand that there's a difference between the pain that destroys you and the pain that develops you, right? Because there's pain that destroys you, right? The enemy, he leads you in places that always destroy you. It's the 52 fake out. But when God's developing you, it's kind of like like workout pain.
Yeah, growing
it's
pain.
Yeah, it's
Growing
a pain, but it's a good pain. You just have to trust the one who's
Yes.
leading you long enough
You gotta trust
to
the
be
doctor.
able to
You gotta
yeah.
trust the
The physician. Come on.
You know?
And he's always doing x-rays to really find out what the
Yes.
problem is, right? Because the headache might not just be a headache. The headache
Yes.
could have been caused by something inside that's pressing
something
against
else.
the mind or whatever. You know, there's always that, you have you know, da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
And so
it
that's
was
really
just a
good.
symptom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had to
Humble myself.
yeah, because I remember you know what, Patty, let's go back.
I already know what he's gonna say.
I remember your the first time I ever met you. You came, you're like, man, I feel like the Lord sent me here, you know, and then we're laughing, and so I go, hey, I had invited you into a meeting. You remember
Yeah,
that?
I
You
clearly
knew it?
remember that.
And you
He
were
made me
like,
write a paper.
yeah, and you were like, you know, what do you mean I'm not a leader? I'm like, no, I just met you, and you were like, I guess you were so used to being used, like you were saying, right? But nobody
Yeah.
really like did the opposite,
Yeah.
like, you know. So
Sit down.
your gift was important, but Patty was more important to me than your
Right.
gift.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to deal with Patty before I could deal, you know, which you've done incredible throughout the years,
Yeah.
you know. But
Praise
it's
God.
funny
Praise
to
God.
see that moment where I feel like you're saying, like, because sometimes we don't want to look at what somebody's saying.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, that's
That
off
mirror
in you.
that
And
she's
you're like,
talking
what?
about.
That mirror that you're talking about? Sometimes we don't want to look at it.
Yeah, and
we
I
don't
had
want to
to
look
do
at the
that.
flat. But if you don't look at the flat, then it messes up the rim and the axle. Before you know it, you got more problems than the problem that you first could have fixed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yes,
know?
it took a lot of humility, but the Bible says that those who humble themselves, God will exalt them in
He will
due
lift you
season,
up.
you know, and that's
Yeah.
what he's done with me. I've had to humble
Nice.
myself over and over and over and over again. And he's had me walk through some journeys that I did not want to walk through. I remember when you asked for me to lead the singles, I was like, no.
Oh, yeah.
And the Lord was like, everybody wants to be happy, everybody wants to be healthy, but nobody wants to be holy. Now go teach my people how to walk in holiness. And I was like, God, but I don't know. And then the next week you were like, I want you to preach on a Wednesday night. And then this girl comes up to me afterwards and she's like, oh, I love your preaching. I said, what'd you like the most about it? I thought she was going to say something about the preaching. She goes, your singleness, it speaks volumes to me. And I just heard the Lord just straight up just say,
That's
you see,
hilarious.
Oh
you
my
see
gosh.
why I want you to do this? And I
Yeah.
was like, you know what, God, okay. So it took continual saying yes to God over and over again. And I'm still saying yes to Him.
Yeah, to me, I'm still I mean, I'm going to be 50 soon, and I'm still learning
Yes.
the processes of how to deal with certain things. Like, yeah, you overcome, but I feel like I was telling somebody the other day, it's kind of like math. You know, you thought plus addition and
Then it gets
subtraction
into
was hard.
algebra.
Then all of a
and-
sudden, when you start getting the algebra or you know, that
Yeah.
becomes the easy thing. But you got to do math again
Yeah.
and again and again,
Yeah.
and it's almost like, is this going to get any harder?
And then
You
you
know?
and then you think God's gonna change His mind, but He doesn't. He doesn't
no.
change His mind. When He has a plan, His plan will prevail. His
Absolutely,
plan will
because he'll
happen.
finish what he started.
He's gonna finish
Yeah.
what He started. So I've learned to just submit, surrender, and let Him do what He needs to do in my life, whether my flesh agrees with it or not, because it's always led me to greater places.
Yeah.
That's really good, Patty. Patty,
Praise
man,
God.
you know that joy of the Lord and that smile,
Praise
man.
the good Lord. I wasn't always the joy of the Lord.
Tell us a little bit.
Don't
You
mess
know
with
what?
me now.
Tell us. So tell us a little bit about, just a little bit. You know, we have a few minutes before we go into the break and stuff, but tell us a little bit about. You know, because they're hearing all this,
Yeah.
joy of the Lord, like,
Who you
but you
were.
weren't, yeah, who were you? Like,
Who you were before, but don't give them everything because they got to get the book.
Who you were before?
I mean, who was I? You know, I've always been a happy-go-lucky person. You know, I've always had a lot of friends.
but like
you know?
Dr. Jekyll and
But-
Mr. Hyde, right? You were like,
but-
you switch it up.
Yeah, but you know, like we talked about earlier, I was either too nice or I was, you know,
100.
murder mind.
Yeah.
You know?
Angry.
You know, I was mad woman. You know, I've always said I should write a book called Diary of a Mad Mexican Woman.
hey, that might work. That
Because
might work.
I had a lot of
Culture.
anger issues. You know, it
Yeah.
evolved from my mom, and then I started dealing with them, and it was manic anger
Talk to
issues.
me. Like, give me an example of that anger.
Oh.
Because somebody out there might be like, "What's angry? I'm angry." You know,
Yeah.
what's the level of anger? Like, what's something that happened that you were so angry?
You know what? Actually, every time I got mad was out of my pain, because if I felt rejected,
Yeah.
if I felt anything that pertained to the pain, that had
Yeah.
any level of pain that reminded me of that,
Yeah.
then I was gonna go off on you. I was gonna. The reason why I would get angry
You
it
was slashing tires and breaking windows.
Yeah, but I mean,
and-
talk to us. You know, this is real.
Okay,
We
all
wanna
right.
know.
You know
We
what?
wanna
You
know.
want me? Okay, One time I was at that. Y'all really want to know?
Yeah, this is
I'm my bucket little.
This is
So
real.
okay,
Hey,
one time I
just
was at the
don't
club. I was at the club one time and I got jumped by 8 girls. I got
girls.
jumped by 8 girls over something with this guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
was
it's a
a
guy.
guy.
It was about a guy, right? And so I was so angry, Pastor. I was so mad. Like I couldn't accept. I
Yeah.
couldn't accept
Yeah.
that they did that to me.
Yeah, to
That I
you,
went
Patty.
to me, to Patty.
Yeah.
That I went to the back. They got kicked out from the
Yeah.
back, and I went to the back and I fought them each one by one until the cops got there. I said, "Y'all
You
want to mess
line
with
it up.
me?" Yeah, I fought them each
Dang.
one by one until the cops got
Hey,
there. And I
don't
had a
be messing-
bodyguard. I had a bodyguard right there saying, "Nobody jump in. Y'all wanted to jump her, so now she's gonna fight y'all one-on-one." And I fought like 4 girls one-on-one
I
until
hope
the
they
cops
didn't
got
listen.
there.
Hey,
So
Patty's
don't mess with me now.
Oh my God! Hey, now that's the Patty I knew.
Yeah.
You know, but that's not like that now.
Oh no.
And
of
she's
course
like, I'll
not.
pray
She's
for
like-
you one by one. Line up. I'm a
And you know what the enemy's gonna test you because he knows your flaws back then, right? So yes, I've had people buck up to me, tell me stuff, even in Christ. But God has changed me and molded me so much that now I see the root in them. I see why they're like that. I see their brokenness. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I
Yeah.
see them and I have compassion on them. I see them through the eyes of Jesus. And
that's
God
good.
reminds me, you were like that. At one point in your life because of your hurt and because of your pain. And so all I could do is love them
Yeah.
all. Like they say, love the hell out of them,
Come on, you know, it's always a blast. even when we're like waiting, for the song with Brian T, who told you it's always a blast. I enjoy the behind the scenes. Sometimes we're gonna have to put just a bunch
We
of
gotta
behind the
share
scenes.
this snippets of what happens.
Yeah,
when the
I
mic
think it's
turns
awesome,
off.
man. You just never know what happens at the This Is Real Studios.
Yeah.
You don't really know what happens because 1 minute we're crying with Patty,
Yeah.
and then the next minute we're like riding and I'm tipping, and then we're laughing. Then Stephanie wants to be in a music video with some bikes.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to bring Mr. Punton on and kind of address this.
Yeah, I want to ride
It's just-
down Houston.
and so I told her let's record a video, and she
Yeah.
said.
I'm down,
But-
I can't just bring my regular
right,
bike.
she didn't
Like
wanna
that's
bring- she
not
wants a
just
cool
a regular
bike.
bike. It has to be one
So,
of the cool
are
ones.
you out there, Mr. Cool Bike? You know what I'm saying? Look, a bunch of guys show up to the studio
all
with
these
bikes.
start getting shipped
Yeah.
over. Oh, gosh.
Okay, maybe let's
Just
retract
kidding.
that. We're playing. So check it out, Miss Patty. You have this book coming out,
Shattered Yet Gathered.
Okay, when is it officially where they can order it? Is it pre-sales right now, or what's going on?
So we want to do the book launch
The
on
book launch?
September the 19th. After that, they can purchase it through my website, www.gloriouschanges.com, or on Amazon.
Nice.
Say that one more time.
So after September the 19th, because I
After
want y'all to
September
come
19th.
to the book launch event,
Okay.
then
book
it'll
launch.
be available.
Where can they find that to find more information about it on Facebook?
Yeah, on
What are they
Facebook.
looking? What are they looking up on Facebook?
My name,
Your name?
Yesenia,
Yesenia Patty?
Y-E-S-E-N-I.
Don't you have a page for this too? Glorious Pages or something?
Yeah, I do have a page,
What is it?
Glorious Changes.
Glorious Changes. So
On
Yesenia
Facebook.
Patty on Facebook, and they can find it there. You have a website already.
Yes.
What is that?
www.gloriouschanges.com.
Nice.
Glorious Changes. Why Glorious Changes?
Because God takes us from glory to glory.
Come on,
Nice.
man. You, metaphorically.
Patty's like the female tagline, like beast. She's got all the taglines, all the ones you want to
thought
quote
she-
and put on a shirt.
Oh, yeah.
She
I
gave
thought
me
she was
one
gonna
one
start-
time where I was like, I don't think we can put that one on the radio.
Oh my God, that is, and definitely a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. Oh my God, when you're on the radio with two ladies.
Yeah. We got
love it. We love
it.
Okay.
We know what
I
it
like,
is.
I like the vibe. I like what you guys are putting down. And so, like I said earlier in the show, you just don't know. We could go from laughing to crying,
Yeah.
And you heard her website, September 19th. Get all
Book
the info
launch.
there, right? Book
Yeah.
launch, Shattered Yet Gathered.
Be the first to pick it up at the book launch and make sure that you order it later on
See
in
the
the
picture
website.
back there? Look at Miss Patty.
Look at
Come on.
Patty.
Look at Patty. Look at Miss Patty. Hey, line up. I'm going to pray for y'all. That's
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
the new thing. That's
Pray
gonna
for
be the
y'all
new thing.
one by one.
One by one. And so, Patty, there's a lot of things we like doing on this show, and we like talking about topics, fashion. We got to start talking a little bit about food on one of these shows because we like talking about food and just keeping healthy. You got to be healthy.
Healthy
don't look at me right now, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm working on it. And so I feel the conviction just on saying it.
Just look at me. I didn't even look at you.
Yeah, and but there's also some other things I would like to do.
Yeah. So one of the segments we want to start with you, Patty, is Dear Younger Me. So in the beginning of your book, I think it's awesome. I read your book and it was so amazing. I know it's powerful and everyone who picks it up is going to be impacted. And I love everything about it. So in the beginning, you shared how you grew up, from a childhood up to where you were sharing earlier, your teenage years. So Dear Younger Me, we want you to give, just go back to maybe whatever age, just tell us an age, younger Patty, and what advice would you give to her? So whether that's 15-year-old Patty, like you shared earlier, whether it's 6-year-old Patty, or maybe even just a couple of years back, but what piece of advice would you give to that younger Patty? And what would you say, Dear Younger Patty, Dear Younger Me? And what would you tell her? Because there's somebody out there that's also, relating to your story.
Yeah.
They're in that age, or maybe they see some similarities in your story and what God's doing and what he has done in your life. So give us some advice. Talk to Patty. What age is she and how old?
Yeah, it's like the movie Back to the Future.
She's 12 years old. And, I feel like I did everything backwards. So, if I were to talk to her back then, I would say
12-year-old Patty.
Yeah,
okay,
I would say,
where you at? What's 12-year-old Patty doing? Where's 12-year-old Patty at? Where's she at?
12-year-old Patty was already smoking weed.
Okay. So were you like in the bedroom, clothes in your park? Where you at?
At the park.
At the park, smoking some weed.
Smoking
12 years
some
old.
weed, 12 years old.
Okay, and you pop up on 12-year-old Patty. 12-year-old Patty got a little attitude?
I would say, get to know God. Get a relationship with God. Wait on God's timing.
Yeah.
And she looks at you and she's like, what's that?
Go to church. Get around some people that are going to love you and tell you who you are, because right now you don't know who you are. You got some pain you're dealing with and you're trying to smoke it out. You're trying to smoke it off.
Come on. Hey,
wow.
Hey, that's a shirt.
Yeah, you're
with
trying
the
to
tagline.
smoke it off. So basically, just and to slow your roll, because I think I was just living the fast life. I wanted to get married right away, have kids right. I had my daughter when I was 16 years old.
Yeah, so you
I had
weren't
to
living
drop
like
out
a
of
normal
school.
12-year-old.
Yeah, I had to drop out of school, and then I didn't have any experience. I didn't have. I couldn't get a job because I had no experience, so I had to become a dancer.
Wow.
Things like that. And
That's all in the book, the whole dance.
all in the
all the
book.
details.
All the
details are in there.
You
Yeah,
were stripping.
Yeah.
I was stripping, straight tripping.
Hey,
stripping.
She said stripping and straight stripping.
Hey, but because tell me this, you were telling us a story that I thought was hilarious, but it was powerful.
sold some books.
You sold some books, but what's your
What was
first
the
book?
first?
You know what? It's amazing how God works, because I have a next door neighbor. She's like 2 doors down from me, and
Okay.
she came over to my house one day, and I just really think that she wanted prayer. She was looking for God, and she said, I heard that you're a minister. And I said, yeah, I am. I said, and I already knew about what she was doing because my neighbors were talking about it, and there was people going over there and stuff. So, but I played it off and act like I didn't know nothing, because my job is to love everybody, and she said, well, did you know about me? I said, what about you? She said,
Remember PG it.
Yeah.
Okay,
she said, I'm a porn star.
Nice.
I said, oh, yeah. I said,
Not nice that she's about, yeah, but no, I'm just saying nice that you got to talk to her. That you got to talk to her,
She said, yeah, I travel everywhere. I do videos and this and that. And she said, but you're a minister. And I said, oh, did you know I used to be a stripper too? And she was like she took a triple take at me.
Yeah.
She said, "What?" Her jaw dropped.
And then but you know what?
You ain't tripping.
Yeah, but then there came that opportunity for me to open
That's
up
what
to
I meant.
her.
Nice.
Yes,
and
but it came out in the wrong, probably the wrong moment.
Yeah, and share my book with her and tell her, hey, God
So
turned
she
me
read
from a stripper to a minister, and God wants to do the same thing for you.
Wow.
And when she saw the book cover and the shattered pieces, she was like, that's my life. I'm nothing but shattered brokenness.
Man.
And I gave her the book, and she came back for prayer and everything.
That's what's
so
up.
I know God's doing a work
So
in
this
her.
already got a
first,
testimony.
Yeah, the
And
first
the Lord,
reader.
and the Lord spoke to me and said, those are the kind of people that I want to reach through your book. It's an evangelistic book, and I want to reach broken people through your
Come on.
book. The most broken
I
of
love
the
it
broken.
because it is evangelistic. You know, there's questions. You guys have to get the book, but there's questions that she asks. There's a summary and there's scriptures. So it's a very easy read. It's very real, and it's something that's going to make you self-reflect. You know, it's not just a story time.
Yeah.
It's something that's going to help you really analyze yourself and see where the broken pieces may be in your life, and something like we were sharing earlier that, you know, you have to be made aware of. Sometimes we don't see that we're walking in pain. Sometimes we don't see that we have brokenness.
Yeah.
You know, so awesome. Okay, so yo, Patty, you want to go back a couple years?
Well, this is what I want to do, because you say you're in ministry, and I just really like asking these questions, because I think that there's a lot of times that, you know, we almost all go through the same things in certain phases. Like, that's how come a businessman can speak into the life of a person who's an entrepreneur that's starting, or a person who's writing a book. Now you know how to. You already started the thing. It was probably really difficult. The second time is probably not going to be as difficult because you already have a path that you're walking. So I like asking questions about, like, in ministry. So what would you tell the Patty that first started ministry? This Patty, after everything that you've learned, what would you say to that Patty? You know,
that we're all in a process. We're all in a process, because I think that sometimes we get in our high horse and we think we're better than thou, you know, because God's using us on this level, or because we think we've arrived in some areas, you know. And just to know that everybody is in a process, and that we're called to love everybody, you know, and not
really
to
good,
put demands on people, because God is working on them at that pace, and he's giving them grace for that pace. And, you know, my job is to come alongside them, to love them, to speak life into them, and to be to them what someone was to me.
Yeah,
that's really good. I enjoy
awesome.
that. Okay, that's really good. And so we're going to go with the next one?
Yeah, our next segment is the struggle was real. So we always hear the phrase, the struggle is real, you know, but we're going to talk about how we overcame a struggle. So Patty, let us know something that, and of course this is real. We keep it PG, but we keep it real. So let us know, you know, talk to us, tell us something that you really, really struggled with, but then give us some tangible, you know, how you actually overcame it.
You know, I mean, I know this is going to speak volumes to the singles, and that's what I feel led to say.
Because you're still single.
Talk to us.
Come on.
She's single, guys.
She's single.
Hey, I had to surrender my singleness over to the Lord. You know, I've always had a man in my life, you know, and when the Lord was like, nope, I want you to myself. And he, you know, the sad part is God had been trying to get me to myself for some time, but I wasn't trying to do all that, you know. And then he finally got me to that place of just me and him. So the struggle was real, to surrender my singleness over to the Lord, you know. And once I did, though, I saw how he took my surrenderedness, and he, you know, allowed me to minister to a lot of single women. I'm actually doing in October, I'm doing a singles conference out there in Palacios, Texas, with Pastor Ruth, you know. And so God is using my singleness, you know. And when, you know, once I surrendered it over to the Lord, I thought that was something I could never do. I just thought that was something
that's foreign to a lot, right?
Yeah, I thought that was something I could never do, you know. But
Stephanie likes that topic.
But God said, by the time I get through with you, you will be able to do it. And so it just seeing the rewards of being obedient, to surrendering my singleness over to the Lord, have all been worth it, and just to help a lot of women along the way.
And I think when you work on that first marriage, which is your relationship with Christ, I think, you know, because then you get to the place where you're like, I'm good and I don't need, and then he brings that person that, you know, it's almost like, well, I'm good now. But because I believe that a lot of times in our singleness is where you really are dealing with you. Like, he wants to deal with you. You're never going to make anybody else happy if you're not personally complete and happy.
And I really appreciate both of y'all's verbiage on singleness, because neither of you said single season, which I, you know, and I have like a little thing with everyone saying, oh, season. But I know that that's like the, you know, politically correct and, you know, Christian term is season, because we do go through seasons, right?
Well, sure.
But like, I feel like so many times people look at, oh, this is my single season, and then they're just looking forward to the next thing, right? Because when you're in summer, you want to go hurry up and for it to be winter. When you're in winter, you're like, oh my gosh, can it be summer already, right? But when you look at your singleness, like you said, that it was a gift that God is like, hey, no, this is what I want you to be in. You know, I think it's so much greater, because you're not looking at, you know, sometimes Christians tend to put marriage as like a reward. Like, oh, I'm just single until I get married because, you know, I haven't hit that holiness to where I'm blessed or gifted with the gift of marriage, which it is a gift.
Yeah, it's a wonderful gift.
But, you know, that verbiage of that mentality of saying, no, this is me in my singleness and this is what God has for me.
Yeah.
You know?
And I you know, I've always believed the lie that you got to have a partner to fulfill your purpose, and that's a lie from the pit of hell, because you don't have to have a partner to fulfill your purpose. God is raising up singles as well, you know, to be just as powerful, to be just as impacting, you know, to do great things, you know. And now when guys have tried, because of course I've had a lot of guys try to talk to me.
Of course, because she's beautiful and she's single.
You know, I always think about my purpose. Do they match with my purpose? I don't make decisions based off my pain anymore. Do they match with my purpose? And they nowhere near match my purpose. And I'm not trying to say I'm better than thou or any of that.
Yeah, because you're always going to need people, though.
Of
you know,
course.
because God made us, even in our singleness, we still need others, right? Because we're only one part of the body.
Aren't all romantic. Relationships are
you know,
your coworkers, your friends, your family.
And some of them come to, you know, to distract you. Some of them come, you know, as an angel of light, you know. And
she said some of them come to distract you.
Yeah. Wow, you have no idea, Pastor, but, you know.
I have an idea.
Yeah. So, you know, you just got to keep your eye on the prize and not allow distractions to, you know, to mess with you, and to know, God, I believe God has someone for me.
Absolutely.
He has someone for everyone. But it's all in His timing, and that's what I had to
He gives us that
realize.
as a choice too, because that's another stigma. Like, God's going to know. I think that He gives us the wisdom to recognize what's good for me.
Yeah.
Right. And
now I have the wisdom. I didn't have it then, but I do now.
Yeah. So many times we think we have it.
Before she enjoyed the distraction, she's like, well, this one's
She's
good.
like, hey, distraction number one, step forward.
Man, and you're in your singleness too, right? And so are you enjoying that?
I do, right? Yeah. No, I really do. I think, like, you know, and I've been in Patty's single Bible studies, and Patty has, you know, you've personally ministered to me so much, you know, in my singleness. But I think that's why I embrace it so much, because I look at it for what it is now, and that purpose that God has for me here in this time, you know. So if I'm single at this time, this is the longest I've been single, because I've been like Patty too, where I was like relationship after relationship. So this is totally a gift, you know. To me it is.
But
I mean, you blessed me.
grace.
You blessed me when you said, because I remember just in our conversation since we're on it, where you're like, you basically were like, these were some of the problems I was having in relationships. I have to deal with me. Is that accurate? I have to deal with me, because I don't want to go through the same thing again in a relationship. So maybe I'm just as fault as another person in that relationship, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's good too.
Yeah, one of the things I told the Lord when I accepted His plea of me being single, I said, I need you to keep me busy. And you know what? The Lord really honored that. And He has kept me really busy, Pastor, in the ministry, and just with my daughters, with work, and for having friends. You know, I have a lot of friends. You just do. I'm always busy doing something, you know, so that helps too.
I know,
you
I
have
see that.
to fulfill your God-given purpose.
Yeah, but you were honest with, you know, with the Lord. Of course, He sees and He knows everything, but you're honest with the Lord, like, okay, God, you know, I'm walking in this calling, but this is where I'm weak at, and this is where you're gonna help me in, you know, because you have to be, you know, you have to be transparent and real.
Yeah, I remember when my best friend got married, or she got engaged, and Pastor was like, I need you to preach on a Wednesday night. I'll never forget. And then I said, Lord, my friends over there getting engaged, and I'm over here by myself, you know. And then the Lord,
because nobody ever experiences that, right?
The Lord said, are you serving me for what I can do for you, or are you serving me for what I have already done for you at the cross?
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, God, I'm in this for what you've done for me on the cross. And He said, well, then keep looking to the cross.
You know, I saw a saying once that, you know, I don't know, one of those Facebook sayings, you know, where, but it was a good one. It was a cool one. It said, nice guys finish last. You know, you heard the saying, oh, nice guys finish last. And then it said, because they're running a different race. And so a lot of times, most people don't understand the race that you're running. So they want to input on the race that they're running. Therefore, they miss. You know, later when they see what happens, right, they're like, oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah. But you had to run the race you've been given to you according, right? Because sometimes let me get real. But, you know, there's times where, like, I'm like, like, oh, why I always got to be Jesus, and why I always got to, and God is always reminding me, like, I've called you to this higher standard, to influence these people. So, I'm like, this person gets to do whatever they want. Come on, somebody, come on, ministers, talk to me. I'm like, they get to church on Sunday and they get, I'm sorry, and then
you gotta constantly die to yourself.
Yeah,
why I always gotta be the nice one.
But you know what? My relationship is not dependent upon all those people. Like, my relationship with God is my relationship with God. I do it according to how good He is to me.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I do what I do,
Yeah.
But sometimes you do get in your little bitty body, like, you want to cry.
But even Jesus told Peter not to be worried about what he was doing in John's life. So we can't compare each other's lives.
Run your own race.
Their own race.
Come on.
That's one of my favorite things, because when singleness and career and finances and all of this, it's such a weird comparison society that we live in, where we're just like, nah, don't worry about the person next to you. Focus on your race. Look ahead to what God has for you, and don't compare.
Yeah. And one time I told the Lord, I said, but they get to be married, they get to do all this. He said, and you get to do all this.
Yeah.
I said, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
You're right. I ain't got to check in with nobody when I go somewhere.
Hold on, let me bring this back, because this could turn into hey, oh my God, there's a bunch of guys listening to this right now going, crap, why are they enjoying their singleness? Girl, it's time.
I seen a meme that was like, girl, I know you're independent, but can I take you out, God?
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, I think there's in that, because I don't like using the word balance. I usually use the word rhythm, because in life, sometimes it's going to be heavier on one thing than another, and when you try to balance everything out, it's really, really hard. You're just going to get frustrated. But if you understand rhythm, then you understand that this might be heavy here and a little lighter here, and you just got to kind of look at your thing. But in that, I think, there's a healthy balance too, because sometimes we can get, even in that, you can be like, my singleness, and you can get so caught up in that and running that you might miss the next thing. So I think it's just healthy. You gotta always check yourself, because even though I'm 110% in agreement with y'all, I still think we're human and we go far left, or far right.
I have an extremist personality.
Yeah. And then you're like, nobody, I'm good. And then God's like, hey, I'm trying to send this guy. He's like, hey, it's gonna be this is it.
Yeah, like how you expect to find a husband? You just always with the women. Well, what happened? You gotta hang out with some dudes. You gotta hang out with some guys sometimes.
With boundaries, right? Without the distraction. You're not distracted.
The group.
Mess your hair up. Oh my God, you girls are fun. This is fun. I mean, I love it.
Directs our steps, so I
he orders our steps.
He orders our steps. So I think He's for you. He's gonna cause you out to cross paths, and it's gonna happen.
That's awesome. Hey, we got maybe a little bit of time.
Yeah,
for
we got
one
last one. So it's
one
of our fun ones.
That's my favorite.
You want to introduce it?
Yeah, I like. Well, I like this one.
He gets all giddy.
I love it because one of my biggest pet peeves is I feel that sometimes we look through the lens. Man, you know me, girl. We look through Instagram or Facebook or just blips of a story. Blips of a story, and then we make this whole narrative about the person. When you really don't know the person, you would have to really sit at a table with a person, know them good enough to really assess a person well. And I think we all have fall subject to that.
Right.
I think we can get better by recognizing the fact that we do that. Right?
Yeah.
So you look at the thing, they see it, oh, Patty's this, Patty's that. You look at the thing, and, I always hear them talk about ministers and stuff, and I'm like, do you know them?
Yeah.
Like, I just got all those shoes. The reality is that later, everybody will forget that I said that. I'll wear one, and somebody will be like, I can't believe he spent that much money. I just got 6 shoes in my thing. Like, what do you, not wear them? Because you're going to feel a certain way about me, so you would have to know me, right? So in this segment, you think you know me. You get to settle the record straight, right? You get to
address some inaccurate assumptions people have made about you. So what's something that people who they think they know Patty Pena, but
Patty Pena,
you're gonna set it straight.
What is it?
Well, I mean, I've had people say Patty looks like she's thinks she's all that, or she's unapproachable or whatsoever. But I'm total opposite of that. I'm a very people person, and I mean, I welcome anybody to.
So you are approachable.
I'm very approachable. But I've been told, especially like guys have told because I'm friends with a lot of girls, and they're like, well, my husband says that guys don't probably talk to you sometimes because you look like you have it all together and you're intimidating. And I'm like, I'm not like that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
yeah.
I'm one of the most coolest people. You know.
She says that as she flips her hair.
I'm not even like that.
Yeah, because you're not. You are approachable.
Yeah, I am approachable.
Maybe
you know?
it's the
Patty
look.
gets down, whether
Maybe
it's
it's the look.
professional or we in the streets or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
Patty's super
Maybe
chill.
because they see me like on flyers and they see me on the radio and this and that, and it's like, oh, she's arrived.
Or it
she's
could be
this,
maybe sometimes when you're in thought and stuff, maybe you have that face. Because I know Stephanie, they say the same thing about
she
Stephanie.
just experienced it earlier today. She
this-
goes, "You look sad."
Yeah, so because she gets like, I think when she gets in the zone, like we know when Stephanie gets tired, she laughs. So like it's almost like she smoked pot. She's like, ah. We're like, we all in the car go,
Everyone's like, oh, she's
tired,
tired,
you know. And so maybe there's a certain face you have that you don't even realize you have when you get serious or when you're focused. That probably people go, ooh, like I can't talk to her, you know. Maybe
Yeah. I mean, do y'all see that from you guys know me? Did you see that when I first came to the church and all that? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I think. Well,
yeah,
I didn't
y'all
know.
say what y'all thought.
When I first met you,
Uh-huh.
I didn't think you were intimidating. I just felt like you were more like
This is the real.
like
Firm.
serious.
Yeah, I would say I was
Serious.
going to use the word serious too. I
Serious.
would say that I thought that you were very serious.
I am serious when it comes to the things of God. Like
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
it comes to the things of God and God has me on preacher mode, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am serious about that. But maybe I needed to tone that down some, and I have learned
That's
that.
cool.
I have
Yeah.
learned that along the way, you know.
I know.
Yeah.
I know there's some things, right? Because
Yeah.
you're like an incredible mom now.
Yeah.
You're doing all this stuff that before you were an incredible mom, but you weren't focused
Right.
on some of those things.
Right.
That you've changed those things because as your growth has happened, which
Yeah.
I'm super proud of you again.
Yes.
Big
Big ups to Patty.
Big
Oh,
ups,
praise
big
God.
ups. We could give her the hand applause. Let's give her a hand applause, you know, because everything's so exciting. And you know what, Patty? It was incredible having you on the show.
Yes.
You
Such a
were-
blessing.
you were a
Thank you
delight.
so much for joining us.
Let's mention that again.
Shattered Yet Gathered by
Shattered.
Yesenia Patty Pena.
Come on. And Patty, what date is that?
That's on
September.
Book launch.
September the 19th at 6 p.m.
At Get Rap
At Get
Church.
Rap Church.
And what's your website where they can reach you and get all the information?
www.gloriouschanges.com.
Man, thank you so much for tuning in with us. We love you. Don't forget to subscribe to YouTube and podcast. Juan Martinez from This Is Real.
And I'm Stephanie Rave, and we're so glad you joined us. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you get notified every single time we have a new episode.
And don't forget, in Houston, Texas, on 100.7 FM, every single Saturday night, we're on the airwaves from 6:30 to 7:30, man, with real people, real problems, real solutions. The show is rocking.
Amen.
But not only that, not only is the show rocking, we're also reaching 53 cities, 51 state and county jails and prisons. And what we're doing is we're bringing the word to them. We're bringing them some laughter and some
Fire.
good times and some fire.
Amen.
And so for that, we need some partners. So if you want to partner with us, please click on the link below.
And don't forget to follow us on social media, hashtag This Is Real, or on any other platforms, Pastor Juan Martinez.
Hey, that's a wrap. Peace.